approach in order to integrate ministers, but also integrate technical team, the research team, and also the political, to take political decisions in the same line, to work together like a region. Next, please. So it's just to let you know that, like I told you, it's like to offer to our ministers of our sector, agricultural sector, that opportunity to support regional and national strategies. But of course, regarding to climate change, that is so important because we are so vulnerable region too, like many others too. So in different conditions, but agricultural sectors for us is really important in order to respond to different engage and goals that our governments had, not only in COP like this, and other agendas too, because our governments are in different topics, like the certification and drought that is so important. But I would like to let you know some specific objectives that we have it in PLACA. First of all, this is a platform to cooperate and share knowledge, technologies, and share, for example, capacity building. To build capacity building in our team is so important. And of course, cooperation and finance and support also in order to implement different projects or different actions or different activities that our different countries had it. And at the end, of course, support the institutional and policy management. That is so important to go. Well, it is a dream to go in the same line because it's a small area of the world, but it's so diverse. We have a lot of needs and different conditions in the same region. So to support policy makers is so important for us too. Next, please. Thank you. Well, this is our news for that COP. We start with 9 countries, and now we are 15 countries. So more than welcome to the new ones. They said Ecuador and Paraguay, who joined us since yesterday, officially yesterday. So we are growing step by step. I hope, well, now we are like a 50% of the countries, but we are growing in order to add the countries to explain before what is our goal, what our step, our objectives in order to work together. It's not to try to align in that platform. So something really important to say, the PLACA has the associate members too, 6 associate members. That is so important for us in order to implement actions and projects. WMO, GACSAR is a Global Alliance for Climate Smart Agriculture, World Bank, CGIAR, that is here, and Conservation International is here. So thank you very much to join us in that big challenge for our region, because for us to implement all the ideas, I would like to let you know that our products, our challenge, our different results that we're obtaining in these 2 years are so important for us. So of course, if we invite the rest of the countries in Latin American region and Caribbean to join us, to work together, because you can add effort and you can work in the same common goal. That is so important for the region too. Next, please. Really important to say that we have 4 thematic working groups that we decide when we start PLACA 4 topics to address our work to do the things. So it's really important to let you know, adaptation and mitigation is one of our DTT. Another is public policy, transfer of knowledge and good practices, and research, development, and technological information innovation. These 4 groups are led by 4 people members of the PLACA. One is here, Angelina. Angelina is our coordination of public policy group. That is so important to integrate. What's so important when we decide in order to align also the technical actions in the policy actions that our governments in Ministry of Agriculture, they have it. So all of these groups are so strategic to work with PLACA because they have different actions, they have work plans, they have workshops in order to increase their capacity to capacities with the different technicals, extension or research people in their countries. So for us, this is really important in order to add more people too from Ministry of Agriculture in order to work together. This is, we call it, this is the regional community of practice for us. This is the heart of PLACA in order to move on, and because that groups target collaborative work. That is so important for us because every year they plan in the work. They plan in what actions they need to do. We agreed with them in the president and co-president and our secretariat. That's FAO is our secretariat. That is so important for us. So we decide together how we can move in the same line with a work plan. Next, please. So just to let you know, during 2021 and 2022, PLACA moved faster than the beginning because we believe in that workshops, that technical workshops and webinars. I would like to let you know that in this period, more than 800 people from 39 countries enjoy our different activities. We organize events in working groups, or with us associates too, for example, with our associates. We organize this workshop with our associates. That is so important, and also really important, we share information. We collect information, resources for agricultural sector from different countries in order to promote in our webpage, and to different people from our agriculture sector can access. That is so important for us. Something really important topic for our group or our platform is to work in information about drought and flood monitoring. That is one of our future projects, really close. And another really important topic is the technical assistance and rural extension in the context of climate change. We need to work with producers. We need to work with the land. We need to work with our sector. So we need also to receive technical assistance for them in order, so you need to build capacities in our technical group in order to transfer their technology and knowledge to the producers. So that course is so important too for us. And also we exchange information how our countries are doing, for example, their inventory of GHG emissions. So we exchange also information how, for example, that COPs, for example, here, exchange how we work here in order to our Minister of Agriculture can receive that information in order to involve in that activities, because agriculture here in that thematic of COP27 or the next one, we need to increase our presence here because it's so important in order to know what we are doing in different topics, for example, transparency, or for example, mitigation or adaptation, inventories, different tasks that our government has. So at the end and during this period, we add 4 new members, and we have 4 international or high-level events that support, for example, Coronivia's group. That is so important for us too. We want to support, like I told you, to train, build capacities for our technical group, but also is how to train in this topic, how to train in Coronivias, how to take decision on it. So we are working on it too. Next. Like I mentioned, also it's so important because we start to grow in the COVID umbrella. So we believe that e-learning courses, web page, to share information and so important. This is our web page that we have it in order to share the different capacity courses of create capacities in different levels, different topics, and also we share information in a special platform. If you want to know for different topics in mitigation, policy, or inventories, or we already have our communication platform too. Next. So, achievement and challenge. Well, this is some of them. In 2 years, I would like to share with you some of our achievements and challenges that we are going to address our work. First of all, I would like to know we have a funding charter that is the work hard in order how to align our steps. We have annual working plan every year. We check it. and we update, of course. Like I told you, 4 thematic working groups are really important. They are increasing the action and tasks that they have it, and transfer technology, mitigation, adaptation, good practices, research development, and communication strategy. We are growing on it. Support national effort, that is so important too. Our countries have different level of commitments with NDC, NABS, and Coronivia joint work in agriculture. So we want, or we are going supported that commitments too, adding country members, website, digital resources, working plans. Each group has their own thematic group, that is so important too, and how to work with them. So we start to be together in resources strategy, how mobilize resources to PLACA. Our challenge, regional project that I mentioned to you. Agroclimate roundtable drought monitoring is one of that projects. Early warming system too. Other more countries in our platform is so important. Articulate public and private sector with the work and the solutions to implement climate actions in agriculture sector. At the end, I would like to share one of our implement climate actions, how to share different technologies that already exist in our region, low cost with their own resources. The next, please. Thank you. So, PLACA is a great space for cooperation to share and co-create knowledge, technologies, capacities, generate and support national governments. That is so important for us in order to talk together technical policy and research too. Contributes to recognize the approach on agriculture and livestock that providing solutions to relevant issues in climate action. Another thing really important, PLACA facilitates the construction of strategy alliance between countries, institutions, sectors to develop the sectors too is so important together, not like a one country, like a region. And support the construction of work, agendas, and interesting and common needs of a party. So at the end, PLACA is so strategic and is so properties to work together. This is one of our values too. Well, this is one of our recent project that we start and we call, is in the regional context, how to collect that different initiatives that our region has already working. So I would like to share with you the low cost and technology solutions even that we have it recently in order to collect different information of different countries. To initiative, I mean, see, here, you see very well, yes? Okay, so we receive more than 80 proposals for 16 countries in order to answer to the low-cost technology solutions with their own resources on their country too. So in this election, we organize our team to have different people to evaluate or classify or you know, but impartial people to select it in order to evaluate in different topics of mitigation or adaptation on another topics, because it's not the same topic to evaluate for everybody. So we organize that event in order to have a different certifications too. So if you made a mitigation or adaptation, you already receive a special evaluation according with the topic of this project. So at the end, we receive from different more than 16 countries, and we have an interdisciplinary committee, professionals from Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Mexico, and Peru. We organize that committee in order to evaluate with different rules and steps according with the topic too. So, but also, who won? If you won, you would like to obtain awards. So we are organized certification programs or different courses or different institutions in order to give them like a prize. So in that topic, we obtain support from the donors institutions, Flaxo, Earth University, from Chile, FAO, to give them to the people that won a prize. in order to recognize that. And this project, we are going to do it each 2 years. So now we have more than 80 projects and ideas and solutions, but the next time, in 2 years, of course, we want to improve our reception. Yeah. So this is how, something really important is that projects, how you will know about it. So in our platform, you will have access to the different ideas that classified in that different topics. You can read it, what kind of technology is. For example, you see it's divided in adaptation or mitigation topics. So you will read what were the solution that they proposal in order to you can have access and read it and share with your colleagues, the technical people in the Ministry of Agriculture, and also but to promote to everybody can read that solution, because we know we have really nice actions in different countries. In the most important thing, they have low cost in order to start to make change. That is so important for us. This was a really big product, because you can show how in our region you already are working on different solutions in order to start to work in that topics. So at the end, this platform offers in short time different products and different actions in order to share and support our Minister of Agriculture and sector to go forward in this step by step with the different challenge that they have. So thanks to our associates, because it's so important for us to work together to continue increase our capacity building, our regional projects, our e-learning, webinars in different topics. We need to work together. So I invite to the different countries that are not now in our platform, be more than welcome to be part of that platform, because we are going to work, we want to work together with that. So Costa Rica, our presidency is until June, then continue Mexico, who will be our next president. But of course, we want to share with more countries that opportunity to work together in that topic that I mentioned to you. So thank you very much, and more than welcome to be part of PLACA.
Thank you so much, Carla. I guess we will move to the video straightforward. I invite you to sit here, and after we will rearrange the panel with the four panelists. But because we have subtitles, so we cannot put the chair. So please, the video that will complement basically all you have seen, the diversity of action. So please go. Yeah.
Hola, mi nombre es Fernando Romero y soy coordinador del Grupo de Trabajo Temático de Transferencia de Conocimiento y Buenas Prácticas GTD3 de PLACA. Estamos muy felices de los resultados obtenidos en la primera versión del concurso organizado por la Plataforma de Acción Climática en Agricultura de Latinoamérica y el Caribe, PLACA. Soluciones tecnológicas de bajo costo y o basadas en recursos locales para impulsar la sostenibilidad de los recursos agroalimentarios en la región. Recibimos más de 80 propuestas de 16 países de América Latina y el Caribe. Propuestas innovadoras y muy inspiradoras para seguir trabajando en pro de mejorar la sostenibilidad de los sistemas alimentarios. De las 80 propuestas, 12 resultaron ganadoras de becas de estudio en 5 grandes instituciones educativas de América Latina y el Caribe. Algunos de los temas que se abordaron en los proyectos ganadores fueron ganadería regenerativa, herramientas para evaluar la calidad de los suelos o biofertilizantes a partir de recursos locales, entre muchos otros. Agradecemos a todos los participantes y también a las instituciones que colaboraron con los premios. Los invitamos a conocer las propuestas ganadoras en el mapa interactivo que pueden encontrar en la web de PLACA, www.accionclimáticaplaca.org. A continuación tenemos el gusto de presentarles una de las 12 propuestas ganadoras sobre el desarrollo de un sistema sustentable para la producción de forraje verde hidropónico para la agricultura familiar campesina realizado en Chile.
Hola, mi nombre es Cristian Aguirre, soy ingeniero agrónomo y investigador y extensionista del Instituto de Investigaciones Agropecuarias INIA, acá en Chile, Y hoy en día les quiero mostrar lo que ha sido nuestro modelo INEA de producción de forraje verde hidropónico para la agricultura familiar campesina. El forraje hidropónico, para los que no sepan, es la producción de forraje verde a partir de semillas que pueden ser semillas de trigo, semillas de avena, son semillas locales que pueden estar disponibles en cualquier lugar. Y el objetivo es producir forraje en aproximadamente 15 a 20 días, utilizando solamente agua para producir este forraje. Y este forraje lo vamos a destinar principalmente para alimentación animal, ¿ya? La idea de este modelo INEA que nosotros hemos diseñado a lo largo de estos últimos 10 años es lograr producir forraje, como digo, utilizando semillas locales, forraje hidropónico sin suelo, en un corto tiempo, pero además utilizando las aguas lluvias como nuestro componente principal, ¿ya? Estamos aprovechando estas aguas que son gratuitas y el modelo permite además utilizar estas aguas lluvias y reutilizarlas. Es un sistema sostenible y sustentable en el tiempo, ya que permite la reutilización del agua para producir este forraje. O sea, el agua no se pierde, ¿ya? Hoy en día esta técnica ha sido difundida en gran parte de Chile, principalmente en la zona central, en las regiones, por ejemplo, la región de O'Higgins, donde partió esta técnica hace más de 10 años, y en varias de las comunas de las zonas de secano de nuestra región, más de 10 comunas, pero también en la región de Coquimbo, en la región de Valparaíso, en la región metropolitana y del Maule, ha sido difundida a través de proyectos que han interesado mucho en la gente y en la fuente de financiamiento que han confiado en esta técnica. Yo los quiero hacer partícipes de esta idea. Hoy en día estamos buscando también nuevas asociaciones con aquí mismo, con la FAO, con el CEPAL, que existan nuevas alternativas de difundir esta técnica, que es muy importante, no solamente la investigación, sino que también la difusión. Pero más que nada, hacer esta vinculación con los actores claves del territorio, también con las asociaciones de agricultores, es clave para poder escalar y vincular un poco lo que nosotros hacemos acá en estas localidades más con agricultores, de pequeños agricultores, pero también buscar financiamiento, buscar escalamiento de estas técnicas a través de todos los actores relevantes del territorio y que puedan ser un aporte y que podamos nosotros ayudar a un mayor número de agricultores.
Okay. Now it was very nice to see that video that complement concretely with example of the challenges that you had. Now I'm putting back for the panelists, so if you can sit back here, Carla, and I will ask also Claudio, Andrea, and Sol to be on stage. Also for the support. So, Claudio, now perhaps we will have you as Conservation International, but also as a country. Then Andrea, that will give us also a perspective what associate member can beneficiate from PLACA, and also any other thought you have in relation to PLACA with regional cooperation. So Claudio, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you very much, Marcial, and thank you very much for having me, to the organizers, to the FAO for hosting the event, and of course of PLACA. For Conservation International, it's really an honor to be part of PLACA. We've been part of PLACA since the beginning, because we believe that spaces, platforms like PLACA are very necessary to face the big challenges that we have now in our countries with climate change, mitigation and adaptation. Spaces where governments, civil society, communities, the private sector can get together to exchange experiences. We are, as our name say, a conservation organization. You might ask yourselves, what is a conservation organization doing in a platform for agriculture? Well, a lot of what we do is very people-centered. We work on the ground with communities, with smallholder farmers in very remote places of the planet, places like the Amazon, where people are dependent on agriculture to survive. So a lot of the solutions that we seek in order to preserve those places of the world, have to do with agriculture, with the solutions that these people need to basically improve their livelihoods, to have a better living, and to show the world that there are many solutions that are in line with nature, and nature, preserving nature, is actually more economically beneficial than the alternatives, which is destroying it. But as Marcial mentioned, I'm also representing the country of Peru. We collaborate very closely with the government of Peru in the support of in technical assistance for agriculture and policies. We support the government of Peru here at the negotiations of the Coronidia Joint Work for Agriculture too. And this is also part of the mission of PLACA, as Carla mentioned, to transfer what is being discussed here to the regional space and to the local space, and to bring the agreements for a solution to face climate change in mitigation and adaptation. I think that initiatives like PLACA are essential for facing the biggest challenges that we have in climate change around the world, and to help especially the most vulnerable people on the ground to find the solutions too. As Conservation International, we also would like to benefit from this interaction. All these efforts that are being done by governments at the national level or subnational level, and the solutions and the lessons learned and the policies, we seek to apply those on the ground in the initiative we do. So PLACA, I think, is beneficial for all the stakeholders that are participating in it, and I really would like to encourage, as Carla said, more actors to be part of PLACA, national governments, but also civil society organizations, research organizations, and why not also the private sector. I think collaborating with the private sector is also very important to move this agenda forward, to find solutions, and to basically be better and more resilient to the challenges we face with climate change. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we can applause. Thank you very much, Claudio. And if I try to summarize, it's impossible to summarize, but I like you were represent that from Coronivia, so for policy to action, but for farmers at the end. And now we will have another associate of PLACA that might be, I hope, on the policy scientific interface, because you are representing CIAT on CGIAR, on how PLACA can also beneficiate, and how you can also use PLACA as in your daily work, I would say. So we have also a presentation. You can ask me to do, you say just next, and I will do the...
So hello everyone, I'm Andrea Castellanos. I'm part of the CGIAR. I'm the science officer, a science and implementation officer of AgriLac Resiliente, and it's a pleasure for me to be here with my colleagues. As a CGIAR, we have been supporting PLACA since the beginning, since COP25. We are a scientific organization with representative, the research organization in PLACA, and we start supporting PLACA through CCAPS, the CGIAR research program on climate change, agriculture, and food security, which ends the last year, and we are now supporting PLACA through this new regional integrated initiative of the CGIAR in Latin America and the Caribbean, AgriLac Resiliente. So for us has been a very nice journey with PLACA, giving them the support from the scientific side to advise all the governments in the region with the science that we are doing in the different CGIAR centers in the region, but also with other regions, because we have bringing some experience from Asia and Africa to America Latina, which have been very important. Also, we have been doing a lot of South-South cooperation with different countries in the region. For example, we have a very good experience related to gender and climate-smart agriculture, which started in Honduras and Guatemala, and the last year we bring that more to the south, to Chile, and we will be able to collaborate with Angelina and all the Ministry of Agriculture in Chile, and to adapt those innovations to the necessity of the country. So that have been a very good work that we have been doing. And now I would like to present a little bit more about AgriLac Resiliente, which will be the line or the agenda that we will have for the next year. We have been supporting PLACA mostly through the mitigation and adaptation group, but for sure we have been also supporting the other groups, mainly through capacity building and also on demand of the country part of PLACA. Next. So as I told you, the CGIAR is launching this new research strategy, which will take place for the next 3-4 years. We have like 3 big research areas, and in the middle you have the regional integrated initiatives, which aim to integrate all the research that we do in those big research areas. So AgriLac have its own research based on the regional demands, because what we did was a consultation with all the stakeholders in the region to know what are the necessities in the Latin American and Caribbean regions, so that we can design a regional strategy that fits to the necessity that we have in the agricultural sector in the region. So, but also there are more specific initiatives in topics on these 3 big groups that AgriLac is supporting also. So we are working with a lot of synergies, for example, with the initiative on climate change, which is called Climber, and is working more in Guatemala, for example. My colleagues are here. Thank you for being here. So this is what AgriLac is basically doing. Next. What we aim with AgriLac Resiliente in Latin America, to strengthen the agri-food innovation systems at different scales, from the local, national, and regional scales, to increase the resilience, ecosystem services, and competitiveness of the agri-food systems, so they are better equipped to address those challenges regarding nutrition, food security, climate crisis, but also one topic that has been very important in Central America, that is migration. So all of this through what? To collaborative research and through the partnerships that we already have. So PLACA is a very good stage to implement AgriLac Resiliente. Next one, please. So we think that as a Latin American and the Caribbean region, we have like a unique potential to generate new science, new evidence that can help the countries in the region, but that can also inform other regions in the world and help them to tackle those challenges on climate change. We have a lot of richness in our region, and I think that through these collaborative initiatives and partnerships, we can do that. I don't gonna go deeper on the challenges, but you know that we have challenges regarding the biodiversity, that the climate hazards that have been facing the agricultural sector. We have also social economic necessities that can be exacerbated for the climate change, and that we need to work also around that. We need like an holistic view, not only go to see the innovations or the production. We need also to advise around the development that we need to do to tackle climate change. Next, please. You can pass fast, as it says. So we are going to do this through a 5-work package in AgriLac Resiliente. The first one is more related to those practices. As Carlos mentioned, there are a lot of initiatives in the region, so we are going to go a little bit deeper on climate and nutrition practices in LAC. Then we have all about digital agriculture, how we include digital services to inform climate or to inform people to take better decisions regarding the climate. Then we have the low emissions and sustainable agroecosystems. So how we can put together mitigation and adaptation, but also development goals. I think we need like more information about the synergies between those three things. Then we have the Innova hubs, which will be like the work that we are going to do in the local level with communities, with farmers. So that will give us new information to inform future interventions, and to know what is working, what is not working, in what kind of context the innovations are working or not. And then science-based policy, which is basically to take all the science that we are doing to inform policies and support policymakers in the region. So next one, and on all these through an scaling and partnerships strategy, which is very important, and also including systematically the gender and youth topics on all those work package. So as I told you, we are going to implement to like in the local level. So we have some of the work package that are entry points to the local level that we are going to prove, to test, and then we are going to have information that at the end is going out and supporting and advising those policymakers a policy implementation in the region. And then with that information, we can scale out to the countries where are not the focus countries right now in the initiative, but that we can go, for example, through PLACA or other partnerships in the region. Next one. Also, so here, as you can see, AgriLac Resiliente is focusing in 4 countries in Central America: Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, El Salvador, and 3 scaling countries: Mexico, Colombia, and Peru. All of these 3 are part of PLACA too, as Guatemala. So what are we going to do is to implement the initiative in Central America and take, based on the work that we have been doing in Peru, Colombia, and Mexico before, and to take new information about how these innovations and technologies are going in this context, and then go back to Colombia, Peru, and Mexico and inform what we have been learning in Central America. But for sure, through PLACA, we expect to go to the other countries and support all the members of PLACA. No? You know that sometimes there is a challenges when you have a project, but through the partnerships, you can achieve more countries and to spread more like what are you learning on these projects. Here there are some links if you want to read what we have been doing this year. We already launched the initiative in different countries in the region, and we expect to continue working and bring to PLACA all those lessons learned in AgriLac Resiliente, and for sure through the CGIAR keep the supporting in those key topics that PLACA and the countries in Latin America are needing to go to the climate action in the region. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and to show how science can bring information to them, to policymakers. With you mentioned a new science, new evidences. We need those. And we did also, to relate what Carla was showing at the beginning, also low-hanging fruit, low-cost solution, and I hope you will manage to implement that. And it's nice to see that overall CGIAR strategy has that regional integrative initiative that can really relate as with an initiative like PLACA that is really also regional. Now I will ask Sol as a co-vice presidency of PLACA for the final words, and perhaps adding a question. Are you optimist for the future? So, use the other one.
Yes, I have to be. There's no other choice. We have to be optimistic for the future. If not, it is going to be tougher. So let's keep optimistic. And let me first share how happy I am to be part of this initiative, not just in the terms of my government, which we are very thrilled to be part of it, but also in a personal point of view, because I've been learning the efforts that many people are putting together to have examples like this, like PLACA, and I'm very happy to be part of it. And this is also a way to make awareness that agriculture is one of the most vulnerable sectors in all the situation facing climate change. But not just that, agriculture is the sector that can come up with sustainable solutions that contribute to adaptation, at the same time also that contribute to mitigate. And I mentioned this first because I remember some of the initial discussions where we were putting together the technical groups, and we were thinking, should we put one technical group on adaptation, one technical group mitigation? And we say, no, in agriculture, there's no point to separate them. And there's a decision that is based on science too. So I'm just giving this as an example because within PLACA, we have been learning already, even when we start putting this together. So I really enjoy the experience. And we also recognize in PLACA what Carla has said and my colleagues, that country alliances are very important. And South-South cooperation is key to face climate change. So PLACA is a very good example to do this, and we are really wanting to strengthen this kind of cooperation, not just in the region, but also with other regions in the world. And I think that we have many things to say and to do, as this very nice example that Andrea showed us. So we are very thrilled to be part of this. But I have to say some of the challenges that we are facing, so you can contribute and help us. And when I say you, it's everybody, because to face a problem that we are facing, climate change, we cannot do it by ourselves. We have to be together, and together we will be stronger. So one of the first challenges that we are facing is financing. And this is something that is not new for any part of the world. This is a problem that we have. But if we put together projects and we have these alliances like we were just talking about, I think that's a way to go. And part of the financing is not just having the resources, but being clear that the resources that we get are going to cover the needs of the farmers. We have to have that. And a way to do this, I think, through PLACA platform, is having the people that are the ones who know how to do things, talking a lot with the people that are in the field, and having the decision makers supporting them. So this is what we are having and we are needing to strengthen in PLACA. So the resources that we get are going to be covering the needs that we are having in the different countries. There's two main approaches that I think that are very important in PLACA that we need to strengthen. We have them, we recognize them, but we need to strengthen them. One is the systemic approach. And when I say systemic approach, is going up and down and side by side. Who is up, who is down, and making sure that we are all communicating, making sure that, for example, what we are doing, and I want to make a small parenthesis to acknowledge and thank FAO, because without the help of FAO as the Secretariat and CICAL, we won't be reaching as far as we are. But having said that, how FAO is working with other conventions. For example, we know that FAO is working with the Biosafety Convention, and we know that biodiversity is very important for what we are doing, because many solutions come from nature. So having these links between different conventions, different organizations at the highest level, it's very important for what we do. But we cannot stay there. We have to make sure that whatever we are making sure that is working at the level, at international level, can be put in the national level, regional level, and local level, and benefit our farmers, particularly women and youth, and contribute to stop hunger, which is another big agenda in the SDGs. So that's another big challenge, and that we hope that PLACA can contribute to that. The other approach that we need to strengthen is recognizing that there are many things that are context. So we cannot have a single way to deal with everything. It's context specific. The solutions are context specific. But something that I like very much from PLACA and from what we are learning is that in the different countries, we share the specificities, if that makes sense. So whatever specificity we can find in a particular community in Mexico with a particular group of indigenous people can be found in other countries in Latin America and the Caribbean, and also in other regions. So we have a lot to share in this specific country, local specific context. So this is another one. And Carla has said it, we need to increase participation. We want to reach all the countries in Latin America, and particularly the Central American region and the Caribbean, because they are the most vulnerable ones. So we need to increase participation there. And it's a big challenge because of language. Because we, in Latin America, we have three main languages going on there, not to mention the indigenous languages that we have in many of our countries, but that's a big challenge, and that's why I think that the support of these alliances that we have with Conservation International, with the CGIAR, will be crucial, because you are everywhere as well. So, and the main other thing that I need is very important is to foster dialogue. We need to keep talking among each other. Not just having the science, which is basic, crucial, but also learning from farmers. What are they facing? We know that they have been doing sort of okay for a while, but we have to learn how have they been dealing with climate change, and they also have to know that it's not the same way to deal with it this time, because this time things are different. So we have to keep this dialogue, and we have to foster that dialogue. So those are the main things that I wanted to highlight from what I see we are going to be facing now and on. And I'm very happy to work with Costa Rica, with Carla as the presidency and co-presidency. We are up to the challenge when we get the presidency next year, and we want to keep the good work, we want to keep the collaboration, and I also want to invite all the countries that have not joined PLACA to do it. It's a very good opportunity to cooperate, to learn from each other, to raise awareness, to have a better world together. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sol. I can see a lot of challenges, but I can see also a lot of energy in that group. Since the beginning, it was a very full of enthusiasm on all the people, on more country joining. So I guess you're on the right path, in the right direction of the curve. So I'm quite confident that you will find a way to enhance dialogue, to find resources, because yeah, we need fund, we need resources for all, to maintain the activities, to maintain the group, to ensure that what you will find in the context you have shown will also reach the people. I'm very positive, and from an external point of view, I can tell you also, PLACA has been seen very as a good example to follow. I remember when Coronavia was launched in COP23, so basically the voice of the Americas was a little bit, let's say, spread, on no harmony. And for sure, it's difficult to bring a lot of different countries, but I guess PLACA already managed that aspect, to bring one voice to the Coronavia group, and this is also a big success. No one mentioned that, but for me, it's also an important success, because if you want to have, from the policy to the farmer, and in the middle, all the society research, you need also to have that group, that dialogue, that will also have some kind of a voice to discuss with the other group. And I guess PLACA is today really recognized in that. I don't know if there is any question. Never ask a question if you don't want to have the answer.
Sure, thank you very much. My name is Murat. I'm working with the CGIAR, also Wageningen University in the Netherlands. I'm the Innovation and Scaling Lead. So what I see is amazing, but we need to bring intelligence and capabilities to PLACA. The complexity of the innovations and context will become so much, it will be very difficult to govern. From the CGIAR side through the AgriLac, we are ready to build your capabilities like dashboard, science of innovation, science of scaling, so that we can get the knowledge, put it in the web page, but also link to finance. So if we bridge the next step in the finance, I see massive potential, and we are ready to contribute.
Okay, so you have, you want to add on something on that or no? That's fine. Please.
To start, thank you very much for that, because that's exactly what we need, and any bridge we can cross together, you are absolutely welcome. In particular, in Mexico, we have a very good relation with CIMIT, which is part of CGIAR, and we know that the science is there, and we know that what we need to do is to pass it to the farmers. Many farmers have been working with CIMIT and getting very, very good results in working with, for example, climate smart agriculture and conservation agriculture. And that contributes not just to adaptation, but to capture carbon. So we are there, but thank you very much. Anything you can help us, we are willing to accept, and very happy. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much. I can see my boss Angelina on the back saying, we have negotiation at 10. I know you have negotiation at 10. So perhaps I just use that opportunity to thank all of you. It has been really a great pleasure to have all of you in that panel that is co-organized by FAO and CGIAR. So this is really to show that we need to ally forces, because basically we have no more choice. The challenges are so important in terms of climate change, and we have so many solutions, but we need to upscale that to show to the people, and those solutions need to reach the farmer. And we can do that only if we work all together from the country perspective, international center, national center, and international organization. So thank you so much for being here today. And Angelina, you can go to the negotiation soon. To bring the voice of PLACA. Thank you so much. A big round of applause to all of you.